Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy.
Politicians captured by those rich people, such as that they can't institute
but I just
regulation
want you to know the country
and common sense laws to make sure that the people at the top don't abuse the people at the bottom. And our system in Washington is broken.
That's fair. It's all fair, but half the country's still wondering how Joe Biden got rich.
Yeah.
How did he get rich?
If Joe Biden got
All right, but I want to play a clip of somebody I think that have been very instrumental, especially a man that's very successful financially and has been more politically active on CNN, Fox News, and that's Kevin O'Leary. So Kevin O'Leary goes on to CNN and literally obliterates these people who have a false bravado about oligarchies and wealth and all of the things that the leftists claim that they know, and they claim that they have virtue in, and they don't care nothing about, they know nothing about, and they look like fools when they go against somebody who really have what it takes to be successful. But I want to play some clips of Kevin O'Leary. Let's play Joe Biden's clip first, and then we're going to play Kevin O'Leary literally putting the smack down like he in WWE.
I want to warn the country of some things that give me great concern. And this is a dangerous and that's a dangerous concentration of power in the hands of a very few ultra-wealthy people. And the dangerous consequences if their abuse of power is left unchecked. Today, an oligarchy is taking shape in America of extreme wealth, power, and influence that literally threatens our entire democracy, our basic rights and freedoms, and a fair shot for everyone to get ahead. We see the consequences all across America, and we've seen it before. More than a century ago, but the American people stood up to the robber barons back then and busted the trusts.
Get this old senile man off this thing. I can't listen to it. I tried to listen, but then we go, like, bro, you cannot speak. Won't you have somebody else say what you're saying? Won't you use AI or something? I'm sick of hearing this old senile fool talking on behalf of the country. He sounds like a complete idiot. He sounds like he's literally on his deathbed, one toenail in the grave already. He's circling the drain. Get this man. It's disrespectful to the men and women who died for this country to have this fool up here talking. Dang, he makes me so upset. Every day I wake up, I realize how crazy Joe Biden really is. The fact that he's talking about an oligarchy, he's talking about big tech billionaires having a connection with Donald Trump and wanting to work with the president of the United States of America. When they worked with him, it's fine. When they want to work with Trump, it's crazy. But let's look at these headlines, because this is the craziest thing. When you listen to the left, what do? Warns of oligarchy, farewell address, and they got all these fancy words about the oligarchy, and they're giving validation to the things that he's saying. And I think it's absolutely moronic to do such a thing. Biden's farewell warning about the power of big tech billionaires. Then when you go to the right, which obviously you just click on this little button here, you go to the right and you see things like this. They're questioning the people, comparing them to FDR and Washington. It rings hollow. Biden ripped for warning of oligarchy taking shape in the United States of America despite his deep ties. So I feel like the Republicans are calling him out for his bull shenanigans, but the left is wanting it to be in their best interest to bring up this topic that I think is not beneficial to America. And all of this can be brought to you by Ground.News. So this is why I use Ground.News, because you can get a compilation of all of the news topics on both sides so you can be better informed. Right now, there's over almost 700 articles written, 100 of them written by leftists or left-leaning organizations, 97 written by right, and then 107 written by center. So it's well evenly dispersed. But I want to tell you guys about the blind spot real quick. If you look at it, this is another thing you need to pay attention to, because there's blind spots for the right, blind spots for the left. And here are a couple topics here. It says, court dismisses New York lawsuit against Big Oil. And this is something that the left is not talking about. The right is. They should be paying attention to. We can go to this one. Judiciary Democrat floats killing Mar-a-Lago case and nudge Garland to release Trump's report. No Republican is talking about this, or hardly any Republicans are talking about this, only the left. So this is what you can go to and look forward to make sure you got the proper news. Go to ground.news/Tatum to think for yourself and get the full picture. Subscribe through my link and get the Vantage plan, which is the unlimited plan that I use. And you can subscribe to my link to get 40% off. That's 40% off, limited time. So make sure you go to my link and get your news balanced today. Anyway, let's bring on Kevin O'Leary. Okay, let's play Kevin O'Leary real quick. And I'm going to get back to the terrorist activity because I've got my paperwork now about the terrorist swap, and it's crazier than you think. And I just gave a little bit of information. I'm going to read through it. But let's go to Kevin O'Leary real quick, and then we're gonna go back to the terrorist activity information about the terrorist swap, so I can give you some more pertinent information on it. Roll Kevin O'Leary.
What is happening right now is that a handful of major companies and the ones that the men that lead them are saying in the next 4 years is going to be a make or break for AI, and the person who gets closest to Donald Trump the fastest and gives him the most money is going to win that race. That's extraordinary to think about.
You know, we celebrate in America the American dream. It's our number one export. Zuck was a college student once. Look what he's created, how many jobs, how much taxes has he paid. Elon Musk, maybe the most successful entrepreneur in history, another aspect of the American dream, just showing you what can happen. We should be celebrating this. And by the way, that message that Biden put out there, that was Harris's probably number one message during the election. How'd that work for her? Not so well.
You think that was her number one message?
I think so.
I don't think so. I think
no. Remember she said,
I agree.
We have Trump coming and all the bad things about concentration of wealth. Americans appreciate the ability to pursue the American dream every day, and we do not push down on success, ever. So, yes, Musk is rich. So what? Zuck,
I don't think
rich.
The issue is how
and
rich
everybody
they are.
else comes to this country almost drowning in rivers or getting cut under barbed wires to get in here to pursue their dream. Why do we ever think that we should bash their success?
Ashley,
What are you
Ashley,
talking about?
Ashley, I want you to get it,
Yeah.
but let me just say this. It is not about how rich they are.
Exactly.
Just to observe what he's
They're not
talking about
rich
here.
enough, is that what you're saying?
No. I'm saying that actually what got them there, Mark Zuckerberg, Sam Altman, Jeff Bezos, they all got to where they are because they came up with good ideas. They built big, good
Let's
businesses.
punish them.
And no. And they did so largely without having to do what they are doing now. The fact that they have to do it now, I think, actually is a change for them. They were not going to Washington themselves groveling toward the political leaders to try to keep their businesses afloat.
Yeah, they were disruptors. I hear you
Before
that this did not
she
just start
talk,
with Donald.
let me just give my assertion real quick. Just so, of course, if you guys don't have the context here, what they're essentially saying is that they're afraid that they're losing culture and tech and everything. That's what they're really afraid of, because what their contention is that now you see Zuckerberg saying, "I'm going to work with Donald Trump." You see Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, probably the most greatest entrepreneur, no matter if you care about his personal life, but as an entrepreneur, as what he's been able to build and accumulate wealth, he's one of the greatest to ever do it. He's now almost best friends with Donald Trump. And you see some of these major corporations, like for instance, Coca-Cola, I think gave Trump an award or something, the CEO of Coca-Cola, inauguration Diet Coke for him. So a major company, a historical American staple, they are giving awards to Donald Trump, and some of them are becoming friendly. Now, the truth is, if you have common sense, is that why don't we work together? That's it. That's it, bro. That's it. They tried to work with the left. The left left them hanging. The left is talking about people shouldn't accumulate wealth. The rich need to pay more taxes. In America, we should be celebrating people like Elon Musk, at least his success. I don't know about his personal life. Who wouldn't? I want to live the American dream. I don't have as much money as Elon Musk one day. Why should I be mad at that man? I should be saying, what can I do to get where he's at? Because this is the point that a lot of people are missing. When I go to these college campuses, this is what the education is doing to these kids. They getting stupider. They are saying, oh, he got all his money. He got his money. Do you know how much taxes? Think about Zuckerberg probably been doing this for over 20 years now. Do you know how much taxes Zuckerberg has paid personally from Facebook's inception to now? That's personal tax. Then you know how much taxes corporate tax Facebook has paid? Do you know how many people they employ who also pay taxes? Do you know how many people they employ who also have money that pay for things all around the United States of America and all abroad who pay taxes? How many of them you think bought a car that work for Meta? How many think them going to the grocery store every single day and all this stuff? How many, they're paying state tax, they're paying sales tax, they're paying federal income tax? Like one man has probably added over $1 trillion in taxes. One man's bravery, invention, and courage probably added $1 trillion worth of taxes into the United States of America. Elon Musk alone paid a couple billion when he pulled $50 billion from his equity. He paid like a couple $1 billion in taxes. I think he paid the most taxes out of anybody in the world, in world history, or in United States history. What are we talking about? Every other regular person that's walking around here paying taxes that get a tax return. People that make real money don't get tax. I mean, when I say make a lot of money, don't get tax return. Not real money, a lot of money. They don't get tax returns. They owe taxes and they pay taxes at the end of the year. But for 90% of America, you get a tax return. Why? Because you're contributing, I don't know, $4,000 a year? I mean, these billionaires and multimillionaires are literally paying millions of dollars in taxes every year. They paying millions. Anyway, I'm not going to get on that soapbox, but the left is so mindless in communism that they shame what got them here. They're literally probably doing a broadcast using a camera from a person who was an entrepreneur that developed the camcorder and the whole process and the system and they may use, I don't know what they use to do the thing. What's that we got right here? The TriCaster. They probably use the big TriCaster to do all this stuff. These are entrepreneurs. The iPhones they use in entrepreneurship. The government didn't create none of this. Let me get back to the video, Nick. I'm going off. Roll the clip.
Trump. And I don't actually think that was Kamala Harris's message. And I actually think when I listened to this, I thought Joe Biden was literally trying to pass the torch and give a nod to Democrats about maybe we should have rethought and not just run down my list of accomplishments of all the great things I did, but also talk
Pass
about
it
like
to whom?
to
Gavin
the next
Newsom?
to the next generation of leaders and talk about probably I don't think he was doing it to Gavin Newsom, but he was saying to the American people, the American dream is real, and if you work hard, you should be able to prosper, but everybody should play by the same rules, and it shouldn't just be billionaires get to continue to expand their wealth while the working class Americans that so many Democrats acknowledge they weren't able to
Say
connect
on the billionaire front, I don't think hard to say that Joe Biden was punishing them when Jeff Bezos was famously at one of the more recent state dinners in the Biden White House when Bezos and SpaceX, Elon Musk's company have all of these contracts with the Biden administration agencies. So it's hard for me to know how he was punishing them. But to me, let's go back. I'd like to go back big picture to this address today. I don't think it was an address for today. I think it was an address for history and posterity and how the Biden administration is going to be seen. I don't think the 36% approval is going to be affected in the short term, one iota, by this farewell speech. But I do think that we are going to study it and the thing he said, and he was passing the torch, not to Gavin Newsom, not to an elected official. He was passing the torch. He told the American people that we are the keepers of the flame when he talked about the Statue of Liberty and that analogy that he made. He also talked about how so many of the things he did are going to grow and bloom in decades to come.
How do you think
I think that's going to be the case.
How do you think history's going to treat his foreign policy, his Bidenomics? How do you think he's going to be treated? Pardoning his son, the Biden brand name. Do you think a single Biden can get on the board of the Smithsonian?
I don't think you can argue against pardoning the son when you supported a felon. You see, that to me, you lose the moral authority there.
How do you feel about the Biden brand? How did he help his family? It's worse than Nixon for him.
You're going to talk to me about helping the family when Jared Kushner got $2 billion from the Saudis?
Yeah.
So one of the things, I think that one of the things that we have to be mindful here is that
Hold on, stop real quick before another person says something. I don't know. He may be on the right side. They normally put the Republican here and the Republican here. But anyway, they like to do what if-isms and all that stuff, or whataboutisms. Think about this. If you are saying that Donald Trump helped his family, then you are equally should be outraged that Biden helped his family. Nobody in Donald Trump's family was a felon that's convicted on 2 felony charges that are major, taxes and gun laws, which he'd have been a prohibited possessor. He'd have never been able to carry a gun again. And also, when you look at his taxes, I mean, he had to pay back like $2 million in taxes that he got from foreign governments, which he didn't disclose because he didn't want people to know he was getting money from a foreign government. We should actually investigate him. He should go to jail over this. But Joe Biden, knowing that if it's investigated, he would go to jail, he gave a pardon of him for 18 years or something like that, 11 years, to where he retroactively pardoned him. So that means that anything that he could have done 11 years ago to now he's pardoned preemptively. This is what Kevin O'Leary, what did that Jared Kushner got to do anything? Jared Kushner ain't even his son. Jared Kushner is his son-in-law. He got 2 sons, 3 sons. What did he do for his 3 sons? Nothing. He didn't have to bail them out of nothing. Jared Kushner made $1 billion because he's a businessman. That's no here nor there. We talking about corruption. We talking about Joe Biden being corrupt. We talking about his legacy. The dude has the worst legacy. I'm glad he has the worst legacy. And everybody that voted for him should be ashamed of themselves to vote for that fool. Because I told many of y'all not to vote for him because he's trash. Roll the clip.
Politicians play this game where they say the rich, especially with Democrats, the rich should pay their fair share. And Josh is right. Joe Biden has been in office, and the rich have only gotten richer under Joe Biden. It happens, though, under every single president, whether it's Republican or Democrat. It is just Democrats. Their mantra is that the rich should pay more. I thought that for Biden's speech. Now, Biden came into the White House with a lot of promise. He's been in office since about the same time as I think the Ford Pinto was an actual vehicle. That was back in the 70s. He came in office with these number of years of experience. And what you saw during the Biden administration, unfortunately for him and unfortunately for Democrats, was a lot of underperformance. I thought that they thought the 2020 midterms where Biden was dark Brandon, they saw success. Kamala Harris was out as the abortion czar. All of that was supposed to help Joe Biden, and then we get to June, and then we get to July of this year, and the bottom fell out of it for Joe Biden. So I don't think attacking the 1% of the rich is really going to help Joe Biden.
It's not about, Kevin, it's not about not letting people get rich. It's about not letting rich people control the political process and not having our politicians captured by those rich people such that they can't institute regulation and common sense laws to make sure that the people at the top don't abuse the people at the bottom. And our system in Washington is broken.
That's fair. It's all fair, but half the country's still wondering how Joe Biden got rich.
Yeah, okay, so here.
How did he get rich?
If Joe Biden got
I'm wondering the same thing. That's it. Joe Biden, we wondering how Joe Biden got rich. Isn't it amazing that all these celebrities, see, they paid them, but isn't it amazing that Democrats had all these celebrities endorsing them? Is that not the wealthy? Listen, Taylor Swift is going out on a limb and saying we need to vote for Kamala Harris. She had all the celebrities backing her. Same thing with Joe Biden. But y'all don't have a problem with that when they're being influenced and backed by all the billionaires. But when the tide turn, they mad. Because last time I checked, Zuckerberg donated like $400 million to the Biden administration and did the Zucker boxes, which essentially helped him get elected. Jeff Bezos' wife literally ex-wife, they only get rich when they divorce a billionaire. His ex-wife donates hundreds of millions of dollars to leftist causes. Look at the power and influence of women like that who are billionaires. Oprah Winfrey, these billionaires, they are lockstep. Oh, The Rock may be close to a billionaire. They're in lockstep with the Democrat Party. They're on stage endorsing them. They tweeting. They got all the celebrities in Hollywood got a Zoom call going. But that's not political elite or social elites and billionaires having social influence or political influence on the Democrats. When they do it, it's fine. But then it's a scary moment. It's a cold day in hell for them when all of a sudden Elon Musk, who was a Democrat, who was all environmental and created the electric car, or at least he had some part in building the company. He did all of that and they loved him. Elon, Silicon Valley, and Democrat-run California, Zuckerberg, Bezos. They still got billionaire Bill Gates and Melinda Gates. They got the Gates. They got all these people, Soros. They all these billionaires that support them. Totally fine. Nothing wrong with it. We're going to make them pay their fair share. When have they ever made billionaires pay more taxes? Billionaires get richer under them. Listen, let me just say this real quick, because I've been around people that got a lot of money, and I'm starting to learn a lot from them. One thing is, people with a lot of money are generally nicer, more giving and generous with their time and money than anybody else. I know people that don't got 2 pennies to rub together, and they will treat you like crap. And I know people also that are worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and they'll get a shirt off their back, put you up in a hotel. They'll do things for you. They give the charity. You can call them. They'll pick up the phone. You got somebody that's penny pinching. They won't pick up the phone because they too good now because they got a little bit more money than they used to have. So one thing I'm learning is that wealthy people are a lot nicer than people think they are, and they're a lot more generous. Also, wealth has nothing to do with the presidents. When you rich, you rich. When you got money, you got money. It don't matter who's in office. You still rich. Jeff Bezos with Amazon and then Amazon delivery and all that other stuff, when the COVID hit, he got richer. Why? Because nobody could go anywhere. He was in the delivery business. Then they delivering food. Now they got drones. It's like, hey, rich people gonna be richer. Then he richer now that we've recovered because people have gotten accustomed to Amazon. My wife should be on the board of Amazon as much stuff she buy from Amazon. And so when you look at it for what it is, you say, rich people gonna always get rich. And poor people only get poor because of their choices are poor. Some people are never gonna be a millionaire because they don't have the heart to do it. And some of them, God ain't called you to be a millionaire. You'll mess that money over. But what you can do is not be poor. And the reason that people are poor because they make poor decisions. You know, people ask, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? You say, what comes first, decisions or poverty? And I'd say that, in my opinion, I think the chicken came first. Well, maybe the egg came first and it hatched. Maybe the chicken came first. I don't know which one came first. One of them came, God did that. But regardless of that analogy, go to my analogy. I think decisions came first and then you got poor. That's what I think. If in America today, you can do, I drive around the streets and I see all kind of businesses on cars driving by. They a little print company, flooring company. They got all kind of people doing all kind of business. There's millions of small businesses, probably millions of them starting every year. And if you want to, when you were in school and your mama and them was telling you, you need to get your grades, you need to get your education, your decision to not listen to them is why you're struggling. It ain't because America has done you wrong. It's because you don't have no skills. You don't have any discipline. You didn't learn anything in school. You don't have any ambition. And so you get out of school and then you too good to work a minimum wage job. You too good. Somebody owe you something in life. You shouldn't have to work. Instead of saying, like the illegal aliens do and foreigners do when they come over here, they go, I'm willing to do anything it takes to live the American dream. And then these young people don't even want to work nowhere. Oh, I don't get paid enough. What do you mean you don't get paid enough? Something is better than nothing. Not getting paid enough is you sit on the corner somewhere begging somebody. What do? Then they go and they get criminal records. Oh, I'm going to get drunk. I get drunk on the weekend. There's nothing wrong with drinking and driving. I'm not going to get caught. You too dumb. You too broke to be getting DUIs. Now you got DUI on your record. Then now you can't drive. You got to have an interlock device. Now you got to pay money for an interlock device and have to go to court for a DUI when you already don't got no money. And then some of y'all just sticking your thing in anything. Now you got a kid out of wedlock and you ain't had no money before you had the kid. Some of you women, you let Tyrone come over at midnight and Tyrone ain't got no job. And you know and I know Tyrone ain't got no job. He ain't trying to get no job. Tyrone doing illegal activity. Or Tyrone working at McDonald's. He ain't trying to do nothing better with his life. But you slept with him because you like Tyrone Cologne. He's 6'3". He know how to talk. He know how to dress. Now you got a baby with Tyrone and you broke. And then you can't get ahead because you got a baby you got to take care of. That's why you broke. Don't be mad at the wealthy man because the wealthy man made better decisions than you did. Every time, and I know there's exceptions to everything, right? Somebody's a trust fund baby. They didn't do anything to get that wealth. Their parents did. Okay, that's an exception. Somebody's born in a household where both of their parents are crackheads and they've been in foster care their whole life and they don't have an opportunity. I get it. Those things happen. They're way out here. But most of us in the middle, it's your choices that you make. And quit lying to yourself in the mirror every night. You lying to yourself in the mirror. The liberals tell themselves that it's Jeff Bezos' fault and the rich people. No, it's your fault. You the one upside down on that car. You shouldn't have bought that car. You didn't have the money. You didn't have the credit, but you wanted to show off for your friend over here. So now you got a car with a 15% interest rate. You don't need an iPhone. Get you a flip. Get you a Cricket till you get your stuff together. No, you want the iPhone and the watch because they promise you that you sign a year contract, you get the iPhone and watch for $55 a month. Now you paying for stuff you can't even afford to impress people that don't even like you, but you mad at people that got money. You know the difference between you and the guy that's the manager at your job? Because you're not willing to work hard enough. You're not willing to put in the work like he is. You're not willing to put yourself out there, be vulnerable, and take chances. That's why. You know your mama told you need to go to church, and you don't go to church, and you don't have God retained in your consciousness. Therefore, your decision-making is poor, and that's why you can't get ahead. If you go to church like your mama told you to do, your grandma told you to do, and you get a relationship with the Lord, you'll make better decisions. And if you bless other people, you'll be blessed in your life. Okay, I know that was for somebody. Let's move on.